one. Hi guys.
Hello guys.
Hi. So I haven't made a video in so long, and you guys obviously know the reason for that. It's a very special reason, and I wanted to make a video before I kind of just go full throttle into making all my other videos, and just give you guys a little bit of a summary on how the labour went. And I thought, who better to join me than my husband. This is Jay.
Hello.
Hi Jay. And we've got our little Bubba down here as well. I don't know if you can see. He's just having his milk because he was a little bit... It's really hard to find a time where to film, and especially if he's going to be in the video. So we're trying to kind of keep him nice and quiet. But yeah, so we just wanted to kind of talk about how the labour and delivery went. If you've been following me on Instagram, then you kind of probably already know, or if you know me, then you know how it went. And yeah, so where should we start?
Water's breaking.
Water's breaking, yeah. So I think the last update I did was when I was about week 35. That was the last update I did, and that wasn't on purpose. It was generally because I had after week 35 I developed a pregnancy rash, and this rash was...
They're called pups?
Yeah, pups. It was like serious. It was a serious rash, and it will haunt me forever. It was the worst thing I've ever been through. No, maybe not. Second worst thing I've ever been through apart from labour. Because it was like literally from neck to my feet. I was covered in like hives, and I had to take like cold showers like 2-3 in the morning, and I had to have tried everything. You know, obviously you're pregnant, so I couldn't take certain medications that may have been guaranteed to work, but I had to take, Jay had to like rub aloe vera on me, my steroid cream. We tried Aveeno itch lotion, chamomile lotion,
pine tar soap.
Pine tar soap. I'll probably do a whole nother video on the pups thing, because when we were researching how to get rid of it or how to help, there was literally nothing out there. It was literally like trial and error and all that kind of stuff. So it disappeared, it eased off probably about, actually funnily enough, a few days before my waters actually broke. It kind of eased off. But yeah, we'll do another video on that. But that was the last update I had, and as you guys know, I had increased water, was it? Polyhydramnios. Yeah.
Polyhydramnios.
So I had a lot of water basically, and I was told that if my waters ever break, then I shouldn't kind of just sit at home and wait for contractions or anything. I need to go straight into maternity triage. So on the 9th of February, I woke up about 6 o'clock in the morning, and Jay was, we were staying at my parents during this time, and Jay was in the garage in the gym before work, and I woke up early. I never wake up early. And I went down and I had some shreddies with my mum, and you know, the night before I had one like contraction like pain, and it made like my mum and Jay like kind of stop in their tracks, because it was like the first serious pain that I've really felt there. And it was kind of like in my back and then going towards my front, but it lasted literally 30 seconds, and after that I had no more. So I didn't really think anything of it. But I think Mum said to you that get the bags packed, because she thought like that was like it's gonna happen soon. So yeah, that morning I had my shreddies, had my breakfast, and
went back to sleep.
Jay went off to work, and luckily that day my mum, my dad, and my younger brother were all at home at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was a feeling of like, I felt like I was weeing myself. That's the only way I could describe it. It was warm. Like, this video is going to be TMI, by the way, so if you're not into the details, you probably won't want to watch this. But yeah, so I felt like I was like urinating, and I couldn't stop myself, and it was gushes of hot liquid, and I was just lying there. I still didn't think it was my waters breaking. I just thought I was actually urinating. I thought I'd lost all bladder control, and this was like another symptom or whatever. So I called my mum. I told her I think I'm peeing myself. Her face instantly like dropped. She knew what that meant, and we lifted the duvet up, and the whole mattress, it was like a king size bed, the whole mattress was pretty much soaked. And yeah, so Mum kind of got on the phone to maternity triage, and she asked them if we could come in, even though like we were told to just come in straight away and like not ring, but we had to let them know anyway that we were on our way. So my mum called and I text Jay saying my waters had broke, and I think he said, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, he thought it was a joke, and I was like, "No, my waters have broken." And I think you'd been at work, what, maybe half an hour? 10 minutes?
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Half an hour.
And yeah, and then, yeah, so my dad drove me and Mum to the hospital. Luckily, my bags were packed. We literally packed my bags completely a few days before, and Jay, the night before, had made the cot. Even though he didn't go into the cot. he still hasn't gone into the cot, but he made the cot anyway. It was just so weird. So we both got to the hospital basically at the same time, and we headed straight to the maternity triage. And I think, yeah, at that point my dad was with us, but he had to go because only 2 people are allowed with you, like 2 birthing partners the whole time. It's like limited space, obviously. And I was scared. I was pooing my pants. It just hit me that, like, it actually hit me there more than anything else that I was about to have a baby. And yeah, it's really, really scary. I think it was just not knowing what's going to happen, how it's going to go down, basically. I think that was the most scary part. And everyone just looked really serious as well in that waiting room, remember? Everyone was really serious. I was sipping my water and everything. But yeah, so we went, basically we got a little cubicle in the maternity triage, and that's where they kind of hooked me up to the CTG machine, to basically monitor my heartbeat and baby's heartbeat, and to measure the contractions as well. And I wasn't really, was I having contractions? No, I wasn't having contractions at that point. I felt no pain at that point when my waters were broken. I felt the pain 2 days later, but I didn't feel the pain at that point. And I know as soon as your waters break, you have a maximum of, like, I think 2 days, 48 hours in order to, like, before you have to really get, you know, your baby out, because you're kind of prone to infections and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, from the maternity triage, they moved me to a separate room, which was actually for people with kind of special needs and stuff, pregnant women with special kind of requirements. But it was a room for just me, and that was really nice. I felt a lot calmer when we were moved there. But because there was kind of strikes going on, there was NHS staff strikes, and all the doctors had done one. And it was like just nurses and like contracting doctors, I think. So things were all up in the air, and they were really, really, really short-staffed, and that didn't help matters at all, and didn't help me feel less anxious either. But we had basically, we were in that room, and I was given like my little socks to put on, you know, what are they called? Blood pressure socks?
Stop your blood clot.
From getting blood clots. The surgery socks or whatever, they were so tight and so uncomfortable on my fat legs.
Socks. That's it, compression socks.
Yeah.
Compression tights?
Yeah. But they were so tight on my already swollen legs. I cannot tell you, it was so uncomfortable. I also had my cannula fitted, and when I had that I cried. I don't know why. I think I just wasn't, everything was happening really fast but really slow. Like it took a few days for things to get started, but it just felt like everything was taking forever. Yeah, so I really did enjoy having the cannula fitted in my, here they fitted it. I wasn't expecting that. But they do that obviously to be able to like administer you any drugs that you need, and yeah. Now, what happened after that? Yeah, so we were in the small room, I was still being monitored, and then from there I was moved to the labour ward. And this is where everyone was waiting basically to go to a delivery room, but they were at... Oh, Papa! You don't like Mummy talking? You don't like it?
Yeah, that's right. Talk about me.
Yeah,
talking about me. Not about yourself. Talk about me.
So after we had been moved to the labour ward, that was, I was there pretty much a whole day, and then I stayed overnight, and obviously Jay and my mum couldn't stay with me because you're really not really allowed anyone to stay with you.
Until you're in labour.
Yeah, when you're in labour, then someone can they can stay with you all the way throughout, but if you're not in labour, then, which I wasn't, they had to go home. And I was told I was kind of like top priority, but that's excluding the women obviously who are kind of being rushed in ambulances and coming in and already in labour. Obviously they have to go first, but I was kind of priority because of my waters, because of the whole excess water issue. I was kind of like number one, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so, and I was examined like every hour, my heartbeat, his heartbeat, contractions, everything was monitored pretty regularly, and urine samples and blood and all that kind of stuff went on. And then it was I think 11th of February. We were basically then moved finally into a labour and delivery room. Yeah, we were moved into a labour and delivery room, and so that was just a room on its own, and you know, it was so cute. I think there's a picture, well, I'll include a picture, I'll include clips and pictures where I can, like, of what we took and stuff. But yeah, there was like a little glass kind of plastic kind of cot, and they told us to like Jay, you got out all his first outfit, what he was gonna wear. At 2 p.m, that's when we kind of moved into our separate room, and it wasn't until 7 p.m. that I was induced. I wasn't allowed to eat from that moment, so from the minute I got into that room I wasn't allowed to eat. And so I was induced around 7 p.m, and it was with the hormone, obviously, the hormone syntocin, like to mimic the hormone that you kind of, your body would naturally produce if you were to go into labour naturally, and which is oxytocin. Thanks, Jay. But yeah, now the thing with being induced is they say, and I can vouch for it, although I'm not yet, I'm not sure if I will have a natural labour ever again after this, but they say being induced is obviously a lot more painful because you're kind of, you know, you're forcing your body to do something that it's not naturally ready to do. So yeah, so at 7 p.m. I was induced, and I think they started me off on the lowest. I can't remember what that was. I want to say 3. They started me off on like a low dose, and then every hour they would increase the dose whilst also monitoring if I was dilating, if I was having contractions. So once I was induced, they were kind of upping the level every hour, and it took a total of 13 hours for me to go up to being 4 centimeters dilated. It was slow, it was painful. Between that, I think around 1 in the morning, so I was induced at 7 p.m, around 1 in the morning I asked for the epidural, because it was getting to a point where I could tell I wasn't even fully dilated, I wasn't even having like the full-blown contractions, but I was not able to handle the pain that I was having. And I think that had a lot to do with being induced, being tired, not having had anything to eat, not, you know, only being allowed water, and I was allowed like the sports version of Lucozade, the flat one. Disgusting. I will never want to drink that again. The epidural around 1 a.m. because it's really important to not have it when you're full-blown dilated or having contractions, because you have to keep really still. Obviously it's going into very tender parts of your spine, so Jay had to really like hold me down. And I had the epidural, and I definitely felt instant relief from the epidural. I didn't feel the contractions until probably a few hours later. Now, a few hours later, one side of me, like my right side actually, started to go, like I started to get the feeling back in there, and I started to feel pain there. And I was pressing the little clicker thing that helps you kind of top up and administer more to yourself if you need it. Feeling in my leg came, Jay's just had to stand here because the little one's getting a little bit agitated. I think it might just be like bright lights and stuff, so yeah. So excuse the gap, but yeah, so we had basically yeah, so I got the feeling back, and then we had to call the anaesthetist back again, and he had to check everything was still in place, and the tube and everything was fine. And I think it was fine, but I think he topped me up. Like, he gave me another injection. I'm not sure what it was, but he gave me another injection, and then that helped the pain again. But it only lasted like an hour or two, and it got to a point where the epidural had worn off because I'd been on it for such a long time as well, and I was being induced and at the same time, and I was just had not had anything to eat. So I just had no energy, and I started to feel very cold and very unwell and very sick, which I know is kind of quite common actually after like researching about the effects of epidural. It's quite common when you have an epidural for a long period of time, and that's exactly how I felt. And like my fingers and like everything went blue, like my nail beds went blue. I was very cold. I could not stop myself from shaking, and I wanted to sleep as well, but obviously you can't sleep. And then it came to, I was having like a group of doctors came in, and they decided to check how far I was dilated, and they said that if I hadn't dilated enough, then I was heading to theatre basically to have a C-section. And I did not want a C-section. I was like, please, just like, I knew that whatever energy I had to push. So he examined me, and I was 10 centimeters dilated, and I just remember swearing or something, like, and like I was like, okay, then this is it, then now it's time to push. So it came time to push, and I pushed it felt like I was pushing for like 10 minutes, but apparently I pushed for
Hour and a half.
about an hour and a half. I pushed, and I pushed with everything I had. Like, my fingers went swelled. My fingers swelled up. Like, veins were popping out of places I didn't know they could pop out of. I was screaming. I was crying. And I got to a point where, towards the end, where I literally just said to my husband, I said to my mum, I was like, just like, tell them to stop. I was like, tell them to stop. I was like, stop. Just make it all stop. And like, even to this day, I don't know what I meant by that, but I think I was just... Come join us. I think I was just so tired and so exhausted, and so like, I felt so defeated, and I felt so upset. Like, I just wanted it to stop. Like, the pain was unreal. Like, anyone who says it's like worse than a period pain, it's, for me, maybe it's because I was being induced or whatever, the energy, it was excruciating. Like, I will never forget that pain for the rest of my life. And yeah, so it was really, really hard, and I just remember saying stop, and then they did stop, and they decided to take me to theatre, and they made me sign something. I do not remember to this day what I was signing, but I think it was all the risks of having an assisted delivery. I was so out of it. I didn't know that I was going in for an assisted delivery. I presumed I was going in for a C-section, or I knew I was going to get some help to, you know, get my baby out, but I just didn't know what, and I was too like far gone to really know. So I remember signing it, and obviously you can only take one person with you to a theatre, so obviously Jay went with, and he got all kind of scrubbed up like they call it, and I just remember being wheeled to the theatre, and I don't even remember saying bye to my mum. I just remember seeing her face, and then going into the theatre, and I just remember the horrible like theatre lights, and I just remember being like pulled from my ward bed onto the theatre table, and they were just being quite rough, and I remember like you were like he got really annoyed, and he was like, can you be gentle please, like, you know, I think they were tugging at my bracelets. I don't know, I had bracelets on or something. They were tugging at them, or they're just being really rough, and obviously they have a job to do, and you know, I'm not going to treat you like a feather, but it was just, I guess, I don't think it was very nice to...
Yeah, it's quite... They're just trying to be efficient, I guess.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Get things done, weren't they, Baba?
Yeah, so, yeah, so put me on the theatre table, and I was then given a spinal. So again, I had to sit up somehow, and Jay had to hold on to me, and by this point I am shaking because of the epidural and because of everything. I'm just shaking, I'm not with it, and he had to hold me really tight. And
it took about 3 goes. He kept putting... Yeah, she doesn't even like to hear about it.
I still, to this day, you know, it's 10 weeks on now, but I still don't like to know what happened. Like, ignorance is bliss for me. Yeah, baby. And yeah, so I had the spinal, and then that relieved me of all pain. Like from the waist down, I went completely numb, and I was numb for a good while after, even when I was kind of fully with it, and it felt quite numb down there. And they used forceps to help bring him out, which, you know, has its risks. And I had an episiotomy as well, which I didn't know was even like a thing. I really regret not researching and knowing enough about giving birth and everything. I think I just wanted to stay naive, and just so it just didn't scare me, but in fact not knowing what could happen wasn't good either, to be honest. I had an episiotomy. This one saw more than I did. I helped kind of push through my contractions. I helped push, and the surgeon consultant helped basically bring him out as well while I was pushing with the forceps. And this one was officially born, no, this one was officially born on the 12th of February in the morning at 4 AM. And he weighed 8 pounds 1, and he was a 56 centimeters. Guys, when they were pulling him out and she was like, do you want to see your baby? I was like, yeah, but I was so out of it, and they put him on me straight away, you know, and it was so surreal. I honestly, at that moment, I didn't know what to do. I was kind of like holding him, but I didn't really know what to do at all. And I think it took me a good few minutes. I think it took me a good half an hour. Jay was the first to hold him, actually, you know. We went back to the ward, to the delivery room, and you know, that's where it kind of really sunk in for me that he was here, because up until that point I was just not with it. And we had tea and toast, and yeah, it was really surreal. It was really surreal.
Okay.
And it's true, like what they say, like nothing can honestly compare to the feeling like you have when you have your first, like when you hold your own baby. Like it's so surreal. Like even now, like it's just crazy. I am going to do updates. I know he's 10 weeks, but I really needed this time. My recovery has been very painful, very slow, and really hard. So I want to do a separate video on that. But I wanted him to have his own moment of glory, and just talking about how he kind of came into this world. And yeah, he is such a joy. He's got the cutest little character. And yeah, this is, oh, we've not even told you his name. if you follow me on Instagram, you obviously know his name. But let's see ya. This is baby Ranveer. This is little Ranveer. Oh,
Every time
he just doesn't like the camera. There's something about it. Let me try. Baba. We call him Baba because he's just so cute. He's just so cute, Baba. Nana. Hey, everybody want to see you smile, Bobby. Oh, if you want to see you smile. Maybe this way. Yeah. Well, you might want to check on my Instagram for better pictures and videos, because he's so cute. I'm dead. He's so cute. He's 10 weeks old, and he is, touch wood, so far so good, healthy, and that's all we can ask for. And did I say his name? I did not. Yeah. This is baby Ranveer. Little Ranveer Singh Dylan. Yeah. 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 So, he's just had his milk and he's tired. But I am going to do kind of like baby... Yeah! I am going to do baby updates. I know he's 10 weeks old, but like I said, it did take this long for me to kind of feel mentally and even physically ready to kind of film. So, hope you guys can understand. But, yeah, we'll see you guys in our next video. Jay, would you like to say goodbye? Yeah, so we'll see you guys in my next video. And yeah, so yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Bye. Bye.